You are now tuned in to Papi Chulo Radio, your web portal for the best in pop culture news and interviews.
You are a whore, darling.
No, I'm not.
This is a Papi Chulo Radio special announcement. PapiChuloRadio.com is currently looking to expand its web presence, and we're looking for your help. If you're a fan of Papi Chulo Radio and its signature series, please visit GoFundMe.com/PapiChuloRadio and help us with our campaign. Every dollar amount donated will be improving the Papi Chulo Radio experience and making it more interactive and user-friendly. We thank you in advance for your support. This has been a Papi Chulo Radio special announcement. We now return you to our regularly scheduled programming. The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews in the following program are solely those of the individuals and are not views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Summer Camp, a PapiChuloRadio.com and iTunes exclusive. Papi Chulo Radio, pop culture on demand. I'm your host and camp director, Maurice Gatewood. Tonight on Summer Camp, we're going to explore some of Hollywood's campiest flicks, cult classic motion pictures, and fan favorite films. Please welcome my co-host, our director of residential life, the man from the future himself, Legionnaire.
Hello.
Hey, our first aid director, the man with the voice, Damian Nova.
You, me, and he. What we gonna do, baby?
All right.
You went back.
Mm-hmm. Our activity leader, the artist known as Manetta Berry.
Hello, y'all.
Hey. And our head chef, he's gonna burn it tonight. It's not gonna be hot and spicy. He's just gonna burn it. Derek Anthony, what's up, Derek?
I will be serving dinner out on the terrace, and you will be videotaped while you're eating it. At least.
Oh my.
Okay. So before we begin, here's one of our campers on our PA system with a few announcements on how you can interact with us via social media.
Thank you for the intro, and sorry for the microphone feedback. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/PCR Summercamp. Follow us on Tumblr, summercamp-pcr.tumblr.com. Follow Papi Chulo Radio on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and YouTube at Papi Chulo Radio. Do you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns? Email us via contact@papichuloradio.com. Help support Papi Chulo Radio financially by visiting GoFundMe.com/PapiChuloRadio. Help support Papi Chulo Radio financially by visiting GoFundMe.com/PapiChuloRadio. Are you interested in joining the Papi Chulo Radio team as an on-air personality or blog contributor? Email talent@papichuloradio.com. Binge listen to your favorite Papi Chulo Radio programs by visiting papichuloradio.com/archives. You can also download tonight's broadcast and the rest of the series through iTunes. Just search for Papi Chulo Radio Summer Camp and subscribe. Now, grab some popcorn and some snacks. It's time for your feature presentation. Back to you, camp counselors. Oh, not again. Sorry for the feedback.
Thank you. It's time to fire up the film projector so that we can discuss 2002's Trois 2, Pandora's Box. Here's the official synopsis of the film. Mia Dubois is a walking cliché, a successful therapist with an unsuccessful marriage. Her husband, Victor, is more interested in working on his laptop than on her. So she is very receptive to hearing about the wild sex life that her new client, Tammy, and Tammy's husband enjoyed before he was murdered. Mia even accepts an invitation from Tammy to Pandora's Box, a no-holds-barred secret club of sex, drugs, and even more sex. She falls under the spell of a dark, handsome stranger named Hampton, a walking streak of sex. But is Hampton all he seems?
It's so bad. It's so bad.
You know what? But that's the one they had that didn't have like. At least it sounded like English was the person's first language. Like some of them are like.
Because there weren't not a whole lot of good summaries of this movie.
Some of them are.
There can't be. There can't be.
But
though.
let me tell you something. The synopsis might have been. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to give my opinion too early in the show. All right, so I'm going to go down the line and ask you my usual question. Who has seen this one? Let's start with Vanessa.
Nope. Didn't see the first one, hadn't seen the second one.
There's others too.
That's ridiculous.
It's
many.
Okay, Derek, had you seen this one?
While I am familiar with Trois, I was not familiar with any of this.
Okay. Damien?
Unfortunately, yes.
You had... All right.
I've seen all of them.
Oh. Wow. That's what
you are dedicated.
The new host of Summer Camp. Legionnaire, had you seen this?
No, I've heard of it, but I had never seen it. Well, I heard of the first one. I did not know that there was a second, and hadn't seen either.
Okay. I hadn't seen this one. I take it that the first one is a bit of a cult classic, because I know a lot of people who have seen the first one.
I don't know any of those people.
I don't know.
I don't know them peoples.
I don't know her.
I don't know her.
I don't know her either.
I don't know her either.
Okay, so this one, I mean, but here's the funny thing. We do know a lot of this cast. Well, the main folks. Michael Jai White, Spawn. He will always be Spawn to me, and Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite, yes.
Black Dynamite.
Monica.
And Blood and Bone. Blood and Bone.
Blood and Bone is amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
That was such a good movie. Monica Calhoun. I know her mainly from the Best Man series. Christophe St. John, I know from being in everything since I was,
2.
No. But, I mean, just like he was on the...
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Was he one of the girls' boyfriends on the Cosby Show?
Yeah.
Was he one of Denise's little boyfriends?
Yeah, he was one of Denise's dates.
Yeah. And then...
He was on the soaps, like, I think it was General Hospital.
Yeah.
And Generations.
Yeah.
Generations, yeah.
The first black.
Yeah, but mostly on the Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
That's the big one he's known to have been on.
Okay. Joey Lawrence, but I think he's Joseph Lawrence credited.
Yes, billed as Joseph.
Whoa.
Joseph. Always
he was on Give Me a Break.
Little Joey and Little
Right. He was
I hated him on Give Me a Break.
And he was also on Blossom.
Blossom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he's known for, yeah.
Whoa.
Melissa and Joey.
It's the best he's ever looked.
So Melissa and Joey.
Tyson Beckford.
Transformer.
He showed his ass.
Yeah, good butt crack.
No, that was Tyrese.
Oh, okay. See how lost I am.
It's another bald black man. Chocolate head.
And everyone else, I don't think they're sort of well known.
Yeah, some actors.
Them other folk.
But I am giving David E. Collier a honorable mention. Because I was like, work it out.
Yeah.
So, where to start?
I think the movie asked the same question.
Oh my.
Okay, so let's sort of pinpoint the genre of this movie. Is it it's sort of basic instinct-ish, kind of basic instinct? Would you put it in that kind of realm, or
what was that Michael Douglas movie where he was a psychologist and he fell in love
Fatal
with
Attraction?
No.
That wasn't basic instinct?
No. I'm thinking of something else. The Color of Night? Disclosure? Is that what it was?
No, it wasn't Disclosure because he wasn't a psychologist in that. That was in the.
Well, he was something in that.
Because in Disclosure, that was all that happened in the business where he was accused of sexual misconduct against Demi Moore.
One of them movies.
I mean, it had a little bit of. It had a little bit. It was derivative of other movies. I don't know the original. I don't know the original Trois, but I got the feeling that they were trying to expand it into something different than what the franchise. I use the word franchise, y'all.
It's a franchise, though.
It is, though. Technically, it is. But it seemed
None
like
of
they
the stories are connected.
Were they trying to branch it out into away from what it originally started as? And they tried to give you sort of an intricate plot, but you could kind of see everything coming from 2 miles away.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Mia. Mia is the main character, sort of.
Yikes.
And she plays a psychiatrist.
A bad one.
Terrible one. The worst.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I think that all the acting is horrible.
I in the past have seeked out the help of a professional. And let me tell you, if they had pulled half of what this chick pulled, I'd have had their card before.
Disbarred.
Are you saying she was less than professional?
I'm sorry, say that
Understand.
again.
Are you saying she was less than professional?
I don't think professional lived on the same block.
She was nowhere in the orbit of professional.
She and professional weren't even pen pals. They were not even Facebook friends, right?
Somebody ran up to me and said, "Have you seen Professional?" I don't know her.
Oh, God. I mean, she was so easily manipulated.
I mean, how do you just let your client get into that much of your business?
Okay, I guess if you must know. I'm like, no, she must not know.
Exactly.
It's none of her damn business. And it comes to a point where you're like, you're the one with the mental issues, not me. We're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. And even if you are a psychologist and your life is fucked up, you know certain things that are prepared in your head to say to clients, like, you're transferring your aggressions onto me. We're here to talk about you. Even if you're thinking, well, this bitch is crafty, you're not going to let them take over the session. Now, I might let a bitch stretch a session out so I can get more money, but I'm not going to let somebody turn the tables on me, you know. But, so what was your impression of Monica Calhoun's, was it the writing or was it the acting?
Yes.
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 Did someone check E, all of the above?
I did.
You know what this was? This was a vignette. This was a 22-minute vignette that they expanded into a whole movie.
Right.
This is a story that could have easily been told with 2 commercial breaks.
Right.
And a cold opening.
A stretched and pulled Red Diary episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was so Red Shoe Diaries. It was so Red Shoe Diaries.
So the whole, I guess, plot development with a question mark, like at the beginning and how they were setting it up. The woman that played the patient, was that Donna? Was was that Donna?
Tammy.
Tammy
Racini. Whatever. How the fuck you say her name? She's terrible.
Francine.
Let's start with
So Tammy Racine.
Tammy tell a lot.
When they're setting this up, I mean, even from the very beginning, you can kind of. I was like, I kind of see where this is going already.
Mm-hmm.
From the first few scenes, I could.
Let me say this. You asked before if it was the writing or the acting. The acting was questionable, but the writing was horrible. I mean, there was so much suspension of disbelief happening. You know, the attack, the first part with the attack and all that, okay, but then you have a woman who is in the house and has been attacked and her husband has been killed, and you know, she's in the room by herself. First of all, that doesn't happen. Second of all, all of these men approach her after she's been attacked by a man. Y'all don't have no female officers? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought, there should have been a female officer.
That freaks out and grabs your gun. Then y'all want to get all itchy trigger fingering.
Well, see, here's my
thing. And then when she gets upset and pulls the gun, his first instinct is to call her a bitch.
Or a bitch, yeah.
Really? Come on now.
Not only did they call her a bitch, they called the psychiatrist who calmed her down, was hugging her and having a moment, and in the middle of the moment, they ripped her from her.
That was just, I was like,
to take her down to the station and have her questioned or whatever. That is illogical. It is improper. It's rude. And the writing of it is just like ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry.
And Mia,
even if you're trying to have this treatise on like, oh, the cops are really bad, right? You already said it with the cops. I don't know. It is crazy, you know.
Right.
The neighbors. All they talked about was the neighbors. How about the fact that she called the cops?
She called 911.
Right.
There was some record of her phone call, even if she didn't give all the information.
I was just like, this.
My question is, how did they just find this woman on the floor all of a sudden? Y'all been there how long? And all of a sudden, she's on the floor over here. Oh, we got another one. What? You didn't comb this house very thoroughly. I mean,
exactly.
How did you miss a bloody body on the floor?
Now, I will say, I did start to have some hope for the movie at the end of that scene. When Mia, when Joey Lawrence says to her, "Good job, Mia," and she says, my job is to keep them calm or make them feel safe. My job is to make them feel safe. And I said for a hot minute, is she talking about the victim or is she talking about all the white police officers? Because if she was talking about the white police officers, we was gonna have a movie. But that wasn't it.
But alas, that was not who she was talking about.
That was not it, unfortunately.
I don't know. I thought the police officers, of course, this is obviously after OJ and after, whatever, this is 2002. So, but I was not expecting them to be sort of like, I'm surprised it got to the point where they actually let the psychiatrist come in. Like, I think in real life they would have shot her. I really do. I think in real life they would have shot her. Even if she had been a victim, once she pulled a gun, I think they would have shot her. I don't think they would have spent that time trying to talk a black woman with a gun out of, you know what I mean? Put down the gun and everything's gonna be. I just don't think so. I think they would have shot her. So that, for me, that was a suspend belief moment,
or at least tackled her to the ground or something.
Yeah, and the fact, and I'm with you when you say, it was a female victim. They would have had a female officer there.
Yeah,
and she was naked.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the fact that you are in her house. She's in shock. She was obviously unconscious when they walked in, and you just told her in a very unceremonious way that her husband was dead. And that now you need to ask her a bunch of questions. And she's still, like, that's a very vulnerable place for her. I just found out my husband's dead. I've just been beaten. And I ain't got no clothes on.
Right.
I
mean, I wouldn't mind, but she minded.
Wouldn't it have been standard? Would it have been standard for them to ask her if she had been assaulted, like sexually assaulted? Like,
it would have been standard for them to do a test on her before starting to try to question her.
Mm-hmm. And then they called her like, we need to call it SVU. And it's like one woman is the entire SVU department. Like call in SVU. Okay, so Special Victims Unit is one psychiatrist in your entire department. Where is this? Is this SVU Kentucky?
Buddy, and little Joey Lawrence is the cop. I don't know what his career really did after
Spiral.
After Blossom. I know a lot of his religious beliefs were kind of at the forefront of his persona for a while.
He did have a music career briefly.
That's true. Joey Lawrence was really he had a little stint where he said some really religious stuff, and then he had his whole music career where he had like an album when he was like 16. And then, he charted.
Did he?
Yeah, he charted. Like he was like, what was the name of that song? Nothing my love can't fix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
It hit the Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah, it number 19 on the Hot 100.
Was it pop?
No, it was higher than that. It was like number 5 or number 6.
Yeah,
it says here number 19.
Huh.
Oh, I must be thinking of Airplay.
Was it like sort of like pop, like
it was
90s boy band without the rest of the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ironically enough,
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah, ironically enough, I was watching At Midnight last night, and they did a 90s throwback show. And they actually showed part of this video last night. So that's why it's fresh in my head.
Okay, so I'm going to have to go on YouTube and watch it.
Yeah.
So
he was on Arsenio too.
Yeah. He is he's actually done some stuff.
I mean, it's hard for child actors to. I mean, it's harder for popular child actors to sort of grow up than it is for sort of like actors that were child actors but not really that popular. They can kind of cross over easier, but you know, child actors who were like really popular. Like we reviewed the movie. What was the movie? It was called Little Darlings, and the woman from Sex and the City was in it.
Oh, Cynthia Nixon.
Cynthia Nixon, but I mean, it wasn't like, ooh, Cynthia Nixon. You know, she wasn't like the Jodie Foster of her day or the Angela Cartwright of her day. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it wasn't like, you know, so I don't think it would be as hard for someone like that to kind of continue their career on as it would be someone like Joy Lawrence or you know, really popular child actors. You know,
talent matters too.
Yeah.
And Joey Lawrence, although he had a hit single, could not sing and can barely act. So it's one of those, you know, and a lot of them are cute when they're younger because they can't act. So it's sort of all over the place and they can just do whatever they want. But when they become adults and they try to do adult things, it's like, oh, you're just bad. Oh, okay.
That's your heart.
But I mean, he was lucky in the sense that he did grow up to look like a normal person. Like, remember the little boy from 8 Is Enough?
Oh yeah, no, he looks great. Yeah, he looks great.
Who was the little boy that was on 8 Is Enough that had he had the same kind of look that Joy Lawrence did, but when he grew up, he kind of didn't. You know, he didn't
look like that.
Which one, Willie Ames or Adam Rich?
No, Willie Ames. You know, he grew up. He looked, you know,
crazy.
The little boy, Adam Rich.
Adam Rich.
He did not grow into
nice.
Yeah, it wasn't. You know, so like some of them don't have like you could have someone like Brooke Shields who was a model and then she made a string of like horrible sort of movies, but then she kind of learned how to act and. You know, she started to kind of evolve as an actress and grew into an actress. You know, she was not a great child. Yeah. You know,
yeah, but Brooke Shields did like adult things when she was a kid. Like she was doing adult type movies,
right?
When it wasn't just I'm a kid and I'm trying to be doing this kid stuff and I need to grow out of it. She was sort of already doing some controversial shit, sort of like Jodie Foster was kind of already doing some controversial shit when she was a kid. Joey Lawrence was always we will always see him as that little white kid from the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a sitcom star. So on Tyson Beckford, his acting career never really took off either.
No. That's shocking. He's so good.
Well, I mean, you know, there I mean, when you think about some of his contemporaries, I mean, Boris Kodjoe was a model too, around the same time, maybe a little bit after him.
Boris Kodjoe is A, much prettier than he is, and B, can actually act a little.
Well, that's subjective.
And C,
I said a little.
I
said a little.
I don't think Boris Kodjoe. I mean, as far as that looks wise, I don't. You know, but I'm just saying, as far as
he's also light skinned. He's also light skinned. So, and he's two parts of. He's one half of a bit of a power couple. So he had a little bit more to go off of than Tyson Beckford does. Tyson Beckford pretty much only has looks, and when he opens his mouth, it's like, oh shh. No, baby, no, don't speak.
But also, it's a little bit of the same. It's a little bit of the same thing too with models. a lot of top actors and actresses were models, but they weren't the model. Like Kim Basinger was a model, on Cosmopolitan, but she was not Kim Basinger, the model. So she could transition a little bit easier. Tyson, Boris Kodjoe was popular as a model, but he was not Tyson popular as a model. So I think sometimes when you're like known as the it person in a certain genre of whatever, it's harder to cross over. I'm not trying to say Tyson. I'm not trying to say that they're not recognizing Tyson's acting ability because
because sometimes you just can't act. Cindy Crawford can't act.
No,
you know what I mean.
No.
Naomi Campbell can't act. It's not something that is just like. But you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you're good at a thing, and you should stay good at that thing.
Naomi Campbell has been given opportunity, like big opportunities, to be an actress, and you wonder. Yeah, I mean, when someone gives you a TV show, and so I mean, you would think that you would seek out. Like I would get a coach. I don't know. I can't say whether she has or not, but I suspect that she has not. I would get a coach. I would get an acting coach. I would be like, I don't. I mean, because she's giving opportunities that somebody that has probably studied acting and has lived it and breathed it can't get because they don't have the persona or they don't have the connections. You know what I mean?
That's a reach.
I just don't. I don't think
that's a reach. Poor people just starting off living out of one room apartments get acting coaches. So it's
no, you didn't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're disagreeing with agreeing at the same time. What I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm saying is she has been given these huge opportunities. She should prepare. She should get acting coaches. And what I'm saying is other people who don't have the opportunities that she has, but have gotten coaching and gotten the whatever they need to prepare, but they don't get the opportunities because they're not known or they're not they don't have the persona or they might not have the looks or whatever. But yeah,
and then there are some of them that just can't listen. I teach singing, and there are some people that just can't sing. It doesn't have like you can teach them how to hit the notes and you can hit them how to hit their marks and you can teach them the lines, but they gotta take it somewhere
some natural talent has to kick in at some point.
Yeah, there's got to be something in there for you to work with, and people like Tyson Beckford, who has never needed to emote,
right?
Other than with his ass cheeks and with his pecs. Because listen, watching him fuck in the shower, even though that was weird that she still had on her underwear and they were kind of fully dressed in the shower. Anyway, watching him fuck is like, okay, this is a good sex scene, but is it a good sex scene because he can act, or is it a good sex scene because he looked good from behind? I mean, what are the statutes? What are the
ding 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 ding?
And he doesn't need a body double. So
no,
he doesn't have a problem getting naked. So it's just one of those things. Michael Jai White also looks good in a sex scene. However, Michael Jai White can act, and it's a little different.
Also, some truth to that.
But
that works for him when he does things like Black Dynamite.
Yeah. He has good timing for comedic acting, I think.
Oh, he's sometimes so funny.
More so than I thought he was a little wooden in this.
I thought he was wooden in this.
Yeah, I thought he was a bit wooden in
everybody was a plank of wood in this, though.
Yeah. Actually, I could tell that Christophe St. John was trying to play his character that way, but I was just like, could you give me a little bit more? Just something,
Yeah, he didn't get good until he got chopped in the throat. Like, he was good when he got chopped in the throat. He was like,
That was amazing. I loved that. Was my favorite scene.
That was my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Well, it would have been my favorite scene if they had actually had a love scene, which for a second it looked like it was.
Which it looked like it was going in that direction.
Right. And why did he close the damn door?
That would have saved. That would have saved this. That would have saved a lot of this for me. There was one performance in the movie. The only performance in the movie that I thought was convincing was the other psychiatrist that she would kind of confide in. I thought she was okay. The other woman, I forget.
Donna.
Yeah, she's alright.
The other psychiatrist, yeah, she was kind of okay.
I will tell you who was most convincing for me was the naked bartender.
Loved him.
Right?
Loved him.
Speak on it, Vanessa. Speak
They
on
just
it.
made the whole movie about him.
Right. I wanted to know what his motivation was.
Well, I mean, there was the one guy you saw from behind that walked through in the thong. I hate thongs. I'm like, why couldn't they put him in a jock strap? But
I mind thongs. What I mind was the guy that was at the party in the ugly ass plaid boxer briefs. That completely took me out of that thing. I was like, who the fuck is the costumer?
you know,
I mean, you go in
like real people.
put on some sexy underwear, shit.
let's
That was his
talk
first
about-
time at the club.
Let's talk about
Sex.
sex. Was this movie sexy?
It's probably
there
wearing
was-
knee socks too.
there was sex.
No.
Legionnaire's like, no.
There was sex in it.
Right. It had the word sex.
But was it sexy? No.
We have a very good friend named Steve Bayless who has said about one particular porn company several times, I know they're having sex in that room. I know they're having some good sex because I can hear it and see small bits of it. I just don't understand why they don't film that instead of what they're actually filming.
Mm.
Not
And
really.
that's with this movie.
Well, we've had discussions about simulated sex,
Yeah.
and this was like simulated sex. It was like double layered.
Because all that licking on her, that's not hot.
Yeah. It was sex inception. It was the dream of the dream having sex.
I mean, as far as eye candy goes, I mean, there were some beautiful people in this movie, but
Again, I enjoyed this movie the most when they went to the party.
right. The whole first part of it, until they went to Pandora, I was just like, Papi Chulo, what the fuck am I watching? when they got to Pandora's box, it's hard to say that without giggling. When they got to Pandora's box, then I was like, okay, the movie just started. And they went in, the guy, the really attractive Asian guy. They should have had him. They should have had him do something. Take something off, go walk in the, do something sexual or something.
I would not have let her in. She looked like a narc. I don't care if you know that's word or not. You can't come in here. You ain't ready.
Right.
She was a little. But as far as play spaces go, it was so tame. It was so tame.
And they didn't even make her sign a contract or release
No
or
kind of
nothing to walk
release.
in. I'm sorry. I was just like, that is not okay. Like,
Right.
I
In
didn't see
fact,
any
here's some
DMs.
liquor
I
to
didn't
fuck
see
you
any
up, to
type
fuck
of.
up your judgment.
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about. The inaccuracies.
Yeah.
Well, there was no safe word. There was no,
This is how you go. Like, this is
Nope.
what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna see.
Nobody knew.
No pictures, no phones. They didn't take her phone. Nah, man.
They didn't take her coat. You don't know what she did.
But I mean, if you've ever been to a place,
had a
there's a lot of
camera up her
times-
hoo-ha.
there are rules. There are rules. I was like, here's the safe word. Safe word if someone approaches you that you're not interested in. The safe words might be just no. It might be something else. There's no body shaming of people. There's no this, no that. But it was all of it. It just looked like it was in someone's living room. It looked like somebody I didn't
usually
get somebody's house.
But I didn't get the feeling that it was like a real thing. It just seemed kind of. It just kind of
It was the Black Christian version of of what they think. Of what they think a sex club is like. That's
it was the
and they weren't even doing that much.
No.
Right.
It was so tame. I'm seriously, that's it? It was a little porn, a little necking. There was people with floggers and some wax. Are you serious?
Speaking of
that's all y'all got.
Should have heard some slapping going on in there.
Those ugly boxer shorts. What, were they dancing in the hall?
Right. Where's the St. Andrew's cross?
Not
where's the single?
Where's
the single tails? Some handcuffs. Some rope.
J-hooks.
Some sex.
Something.
There
was no nonsense, and then there was no real sex. It was just everything in between. It was a bunch of necking.
Y'all going another step. I just want to see the regular.
I don't need all the bells. Just give me the basics.
I mean, start at the basics is what I'm saying. If you're gonna put a penis in a vagina and then go from there, shit. Put a dick in a mouth.
Nobody was getting head. Nobody was giving head. It was just a bunch of
nobody.
But there's sex scenes
and some gyrating.
And their sex scenes were the least sexy. It's so funny because I guess, in some senses, the Hampton character and the Mia character was supposed to be the steamiest couple of the movie, but their sex scenes were the most bland of all. And you saw less of Michael Jai White than you did of any other actors that were sort of participating in sex.
Right. I mean, if he was supposed to be all that, then hell, give me some butt cheek at least. Some crack, some butt crack.
He had in his contract. He was like, I ain't showing my ass for this.
Right. We've seen more.
Paying me enough.
We've seen more of him in other movies in non-sexual roles.
This is true.
This.
Just walking away.
He did actually show more skin in Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite, yeah.
So, I mean, but he was in control of that movie. But still, you would have thought. I mean, he's not someone who's ashamed of his body, obviously.
He wasn't getting paid
him enough.
Yeah, he wasn't getting paid enough.
What did you think of Christophe St. John? I mean, isn't he like an 80s, 90s sort of heartthrob?
I really didn't think his character was supposed to be gay.
I kind of felt like they were going to go in that direction. That he was.
That would have made me feel a little better. Again, like you said earlier, when they met up in the hotel room,
right?
It that really did for a minute look like okay, it's about to get good now. They're in this scene together because they're lovers. I can buy this.
Did anybody think when he was sitting in the car with the other woman that was going to be a man when they panned out?
I did.
I
hoped, and then it did not end up being that.
It would have surprised me in a theatrical release black movie in 2002 that would happen. That would have shocked me, and it would have actually been a decent shock. Like it would have been, oh, this is some M. Night Shyamalan shit. But we didn't even.
Well, this movie was kind of on an M. Night Shyamalan level. But here's the thing. For theatrical, and I know what you're saying, Damien, because if it were a black theatrical release in 2002 about gay sex, then the movie would have to be called The Down Low, or something obvious.
Something, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. To be,
It wouldn't have been about what it was about. It would have been about the central, and it would have been about a woman struggling to deal with her living with her homosexual husband and breaking off from that lifestyle that he was a part of. And then there would have been a church scene, and then there would have been somebody singing.
And they would have been praying away the gay.
Yeah.
Pray away
then you
the
need to
gay.
then you need to see Cover.
Stop sucking dick.
I'm good.
Take that dick. Take that dick out. Yes. But but you know, it was kind of like you said. Who said that it looked like a black Christian version of a sex club of what they imagine?
Yeah.
They must not have very vivid imaginations, you know.
Not at all.
But a black Christian.
All it was missing was a church scene where she goes to church and she tries to figure out, well, what am I doing, Lord? I'm with this man, and now I'm attracted to this woman who I still don't. Even though we're just talking about the lesbianism, we're not really doing the lesbianism, and it's just I just don't know. I'm having dreams about them, Lord.
I really could not figure out why this
restaurant having sex,
married
even though in any Japanese restaurant that I have ever been to, they would not have ever had that much sex.
No.
What were you saying, Derek? You couldn't figure out.
At no point ever could I figure out why the doctor stayed married to Christophe St. John. I didn't understand that. I mean, you all set it up very well that he was cold and distant.
Right.
You know, it took two scenes. It took two scenes of the two of them together to figure that out, and then all of a sudden, you know, we found out later, but all of a sudden, for no good reason, he started showing you all this attention. No, bitch, the divorce papers are in the mail.
Right.
Because at no point did they show. She kept telling people, but you know, I love him. He's my husband. What do you love about him? Why do you love him? Where is the love?
If her friend was a good therapist, why wasn't she asking her them questions?
Right. Right. And also, Vanetta, she was so passive aggressive. At no point did she say, "What's up? Are you gay? Are you fucking another woman? This is what she does for a living." But she can't ask her. She can't ask her own husband. It's like,
And he left her that note, that janky ass note that was like, here's a list of things that I need for you to do. Bitch, please.
I explain this because I think I may have missed a part. I may have, subconsciously moved out of my body for a minute. He left it. Now, he was out of town, and he was supposed to come back, but he didn't come back. But somehow he left her that note? Or did I miss something?
No. Somehow he left her that note. It was magical.
Okay.
That the note was there, even though he was out of town.
Okay.
Because maybe it was a text message that we didn't realize that transcribed itself onto paper.
In 2002.
That was some bullshit.
It was alchemy.
Listen, we're trying to make sense of a very nonsensical film. The thing is, this movie is it's so convoluted, and it's trying too hard to be a thing. And it's like, if you just focused on one plot, just one of them, one of the many convoluted plots you have going on here. If you just focused on one of them, this might be a passable film. I mean, Monica Calhoun is one of the worst black actresses to me. I think she is just absolutely awful. I think everything that they give her is she's always some downtrodden, sort of passive aggressive, just weakling. That she's that in every fucking thing. And it's like, in this one, it's the penultimate of her entire career. It's it's sort of every time she opens her mouth, it sounds like she's struggling to get the words out, like she forgot her lines and everything that she says. It's like, are you reading? Is there a script on the floor?
Thank you for bringing that up, because there were a couple times in the movie where I felt like people sounded like they were actually forgetting their lines, and they kept the tape. And they kept the tape. The funny thing about her acting, and the reason I think I asked earlier whether she was convincing in the role, is because when I saw Best Man Holiday. I was like, can she act? You know, I have
only ever seen her in one other thing, and she was very convincing in that.
Okay.
Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. She was very convincing as a student in school.
She was a little girl, yeah.
Okay.
I believed that. I bought that.
She was a student.
Which one was she?
She was one of the classroom kids.
I don't remember.
Come and bring the chorus. Yeah, she was one of those girls.
Yeah.
Lord.
Wow. Because then there was Lauren Hill, and there was Tanya Blunt, and then there was them other kids that I didn't really pay attention to.
She was the other girl.
One of them other kids.
Yeah, it was 4 of them that did that part.
That's cute.
So they needed to get somebody that they could afford to play this role, like
you said the key word there, afford.
Tisha Campbell or
Tichina Arnold. Shit.
I was gonna stop. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. No, Tichina Arnold is not. She's not peanut butter enough to play this role. And the reason I know not at this time, not in 2002. She wasn't. She's not. You know, she said I remember when she was on the show, In Bed with Joan, the Joan Rivers show, the web series that she had, and she said, you know. She said, you know, it wasn't easy for a dark-skinned girl with crooked teeth, you know, in Hollywood, you know. So I don't think they would have cast her in a role like this. But, you know, someone like Tichina Arnold, I think that Vivica...
She was busy at the time. Tichina Arnold was busy.
Oh, she was working. I mean,
she stayed working.
I mean, you know, everybody hates Chris, you know. I mean, she's a working, you know, but they weren't casting her. They weren't casting her in these kind of roles, and that may be to her benefit that they weren't. But you know, the sense I got about this movie is that, you know, we said they were trying too hard. I think they were backing away too much from things like. If they would have kind of made the little lesbian connection with the two of them, that would have added something. If they had made the little connection between Hampton and Victor, I think they got scared because they were thinking, oh, our audience is going to be a black audience. We can't have 2 women doing this, and we want to make a sexy movie, but not be too sexy, you know.
Right. Well, the same director did, what did he do? He did The Gospel. He did Stomp the Yard. He did Think Like a Man 2. It's like all of those movies are like watered down versions of the Black experience, which is like, they're not, I mean, the one thing I do give Tyler Perry, if I give him anything, is that he does attempt to make grittier stories around hyper crystal masculine films, but he does try to create a grittier story underlined in going on. Okay, these things actually do happen in the Black community, even though they can be prayed away in his films. But he does try. Whereas with this guy, he just sort of says, okay, we're going to kind of talk about the things that happen in the Black community, but we're also going to make fantasy films. So, shit like Think Like a Man 2, to me, is a fantasy movie. It's like nobody ever acts like this ever anywhere You know what I'm saying? And I think,
believe it or not, I actually liked the gospel. I remember seeing it and thinking it was good, but I thought it wasn't. One just Idris Elba. Wasn't that one of his first sort of breakout movie roles? Idris Elba.
Was he in that?
I thought he was. I thought wasn't Boris Kojo and Idris Elba?
I know Boris Kojo was in it.
Yeah, I think it was. I think that's why I liked the movie. I mean, I don't think I really knew who he was at the time, but I thought he was really good in that. But yeah. Everyone has issues with Tyler Perry, but the same people that tell me they hate Tyler Perry can quote all of his movies and his plays. But they hate.
I can't. I can't do that.
And it's like, I hate Tyler Perry. It's like, but you own the plays. You own the plays, and you've seen every movie. It's like, whatever.
It appeals to a demographic. It does appeal to a demographic, but just like Tyler Perry's movies, this guy's movies appeal to a certain sort of home video demographic where these movies don't necessarily do well at the theater, but on home video they find a second life because grandma wants to see Stomp the Yard, grandma wants to see Puff Puff Pass for some reason, but it's like you they don't do well in the theater because the plots are so fucking convoluted and over the top that it's like, who wants to see? Like, you see the preview, it's like, what the fuck even is that? Like, what am I even looking at?
They're not only convoluting over the top, they're derivative, which is even worse.
Yeah.
So
how can you be watered down and convoluted? It's so ridiculous.
Right. Okay, we want to make a combination of we want to make some kind of Brian De Palma-esque, movie, but we're gonna put it
right.
But we're gonna cast sort of like C level, because
C-list or D-list.
So when you look at this movie, really the biggest star in this movie is, I guess you could say, is Michael Jai White, but really
Michael Jai White.
Michael Jai White, it should be Christoph St. John. I mean, he's definitely had done so much, but
he did a lot, but it didn't translate.
More TV.
Yeah,
but they needed a more compelling female lead.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what,
or at least one that's interesting to look at, like Vivica Fox or somebody, because Vivica Fox is not the best actress in the world, but some of her roles make her very charming on film. So it seems like she would be at least fun to watch in a role like this. I wouldn't believe her being a psychologist for anybody on any planet anywhere, but I think that she would have at least been an interesting psychologist.
But I mean, she stole the show in Soul Food, though. You think
so?
Yeah, I think
I don't. While I don't agree with you,
Williams's movie.
I don't agree with you, she played Black Chick, though. I mean, she played Black Mother. So that's not a stretch. That's really not not quite as ghetto Black woman, and that's what she does. Kill Bill. She got out the car. They handed her the script. They said, "Okay, you're a killer, and you're kind of ghetto. Go for it."
But I mean, she at that time, I mean, she was very striking on film. I mean, she looked striking on film. I could have seen Leah Long playing this role, but I don't think she would have done it because
not in 2002.
No, not 2002. That's what I was saying. Tisha Campbell or, but I don't think even Tisha Campbell. I don't think there was a lot of actresses, known Black actresses who needed the work that bad. Even though it's a lead in a movie, I don't think that they would have done this.
2002 was an interesting time. The early 2000s, late 90s was an interesting time for Black actresses. That's true. It was sort of like that post Angela Bassett, post Lynn Whitfield, but pre what's going on now. You know what I'm saying? Like it was weird. It was a weird time. That's why we got Halle Berry as Storm, because it was a weird. It was so
right.
It was so weird.
It was either going to be Halle Berry Brace Yourself, Stacey Dash was considered for the role.
Yeah, Janet Jackson, Whitney Houston was almost on.
They wanted the role, but I mean, it's actually being considered for the role. Stacey Dash was actually considered for the part. They wanted Angela Bassett.
But she was busy, but then they were saying, oh, but she's box office poison. And at the time, in 2000, Angela Bassett was box office poison. But
I thought they said she wanted too much money too.
That too. I mean, that's sort of the whole thing. Is like, look, your last couple movies bombed well. Like they bombed vividly, and you want all this money. No, like, so, it was just a weird era of black actresses and black actors and where they stood. I mean, we still had Wesley Snipes around this time. So it was weird.
We don't tend to have, and I think it's the same with black or Latino. I don't always make a distinction because we're kind of in the same boat when it comes to entertainment. So, we tend not to have like the ingenue of the moment who can come and make 5 bad movies and keep working, So, our ingenues tend to be older, still playing ingenue roles for a while. Halle Berry was still playing, roles that if she was a white actress, she would have been playing when she was 22, So at this time, who really was around? There really wasn't a lot.
Rosario Dawson would have been all right in this. Was she working in?
Too young. She would have been too young.
I mean, this girl wasn't that far off. I mean, how old was she in this?
Someone said Lisa Ray.
Right.
I don't know.
No.
We're looking for people. We're looking for people who could act.
That's true.
Rosario Dawson,
the way the writing was, it wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
They could have hired a dead cat and it would have been fine.
Nia people. Probably would have been better.
We said Nia Peoples.
Rosario Dawson was doing Men in Black 2 when this came out.
Okay, see, so she wasn't too young.
She was making her money doing.
Yeah, but that's
she was supporting actress in that though. She had like 10 lines.
She was trying to move up.
She was there to be cute and to draw audience, so she did her job.
Yeah.
And she got paid to do her job.
Yeah.
Y'all leave her alone. That's my girl.
I love Rosario Dawson. I'm just saying.
She is having the career of her life right now. I know. She on 8 shows. She on 10 shows.
Marvel, man.
Right. Yeah, I'm like, damn.
Night Nurse action.
Got a movie coming out.
Night Nurse. Yes.
So, all right.
Saving superheroes.
Let's take a look and see how many. I know this movie has won tons of awards. So let's take a look and see.
Did it only make like $20,000 or something?
I think it made $86,000.
No.
With an average per screen of $6,000. Right? Wasn't it something like that?
82,000.
Limited release, right?
On the opening, it made that, yeah. I mean, total, it broke even.
I mean, but after our review, people are probably going to look for it and rent it, and
no one's going to do that.
You're like, no.
They hate watch.
So
make a drinking game out of it. Every time she acts unprofessional, you take a shot.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Oh no, you would be just like drunk.
Just dead.
Right.
Dead.
Just like, pour the alcohol in your eye. American Black.
After she tells the woman, I think you misunderstand our relationship. I am your doctor. I am not your friend. We are not gonna be crossing these lines. Bitch, did you just not accept an invite from her to the sex party?
Right.
Where were you when all that? Where was your professionalism when all that was happening?
Well, you
You
saw
did
the
not go
girls'
with a
reaction.
research thought in mind.
You saw the girls' reaction. The girls' reaction was like, "Girl, bye." You know, it was like, whatever. Okay,
She was a jellyfish. They told her, they were like, "Oh well, we want you to interview her so we can get the information from her." Oh well, that's really not ethical, so I'm not going to do that. Fast forward 2 minutes later, yeah, can you schedule an appointment, bitch? Okay, listen, I don't know where, and then she goes home and starts talking about her work. Even I don't know a ton of psychologists, but aren't they not supposed to do that too?
No, they do.
They're not supposed
They
to
do.
do
I know.
that.
It's like, I have a friend who's a psychologist, and they don't talk. They might say, "I have a patient that's struggling with this, or that," but it's not really like in depth, you know. But they don't.
No, she was specific. She was like, "Remember that girl that
Right.
that her
A
husband
girl I
was,
told you about her
was
husband.
killed in the shower."
Tammy, whose husband got murdered in the shower. But I mean, okay, one plot point.
You know that bitch is crazy, right?
You know we need to get our logs changed. Did anybody think that Tammy was working with Michael Jai White's character? That's what I thought
Yes.
it was going to be.
Immediately.
But then it didn't turn out. But I see that's another plot.
No, they were working. They were working together.
Yeah, he was killing. He killed.
She knew she could get more money working with Mia than she could work because she wouldn't have to split the money with him.
Right. Mm-hmm. Because at the end, you found out that he was
because
the
they
killer
was
the
gonna
whole
have to
time.
split that $1 million, and she was like, "No, I just want $1 million on my own." All in cash, tax free.
We got sidetracked from all. This is a long list of awards I got to get through, so y'all we need to move on. Okay, so here are the awards. There's American Black Film Festival, Best Performance by an Actress, winner Monica Calhoun. Okay,
Who else was acting?
Nice.
I want to know who she was up against.
I want to know what other.
Would have had my hand up.
What other movies? What's Love got to do with it come out? What other movies in 2002? That's going to be research. That's going to be somebody's job. Somebody research that. So she won for that. Black Reel Awards. That's real with 2 E's, not REAL. Nominee 2003 Theatrical Best Independent Actress, Monica Calhoun. I think she has a real following in the Black community.
They want her to be good so bad.
Yeah.
Is she married to
the kitchen table? I guess so.
Is she married to a well-known like preacher or something?
Maybe.
I don't know. I just
Maybe she married to a bishop.
Right. I don't know.
Folks love their bishops.
Right. A digging.
Sorry. That sounded really cynical.
No, it was the truth. It was the truth. She's speaking the truth.
That tickled me.
That was the long list of. That was the long list of awards. So let's give out a few of. Let's do a lightning round of Papi Chulo Summer Camp Awards. What was the best use of nudity?
Tyson Beckford's butt.
Yeah, Tyson Beckford's butt crack.
I thought the bartender's butt was better. I'm sorry.
Even though I thought the thong guy's butt was better than Tyson's, I hate thongs. So
yeah, the thong made it very unappealing for me.
Yeah. I was like,
I like the bartender. He was just
I'm
totally
with you,
naked.
Banana. I think the bartender's booty was the best booty out there.
and I thought the Asian guy at the door was hot. I thought they should have put him in.
I agree with that one. Yeah,
he was beautiful. I was like, okay, work it out. His name, what was his name? Dave something. Forgive me. I think they use his real name in the movie. Okay, what was the kill of the night? Dun dun dun.
That karate
I
shop
like
in
the
the
makeup
while he was drinking water
Chopping the neck, baby.
The neck chop. I was gonna neck chop the director of this movie.
What's wrong, baby? You look like you choking. You all right?
Oh, I love that.
I
scene.
thought they were gonna have like an actual like Michael Jai White fight scene. I got so excited, but it was just a neck chop.
See, I thought the opposite. I thought Michael Jai White was going to force Christophe St. John to pleasure him orally at that point.
I thought he was gonna be choking on something else.
Not with your throat all fucked up.
I thought it was gonna be another kind of choking
Not
scene.
with his throat all tore up.
Yeah. If you want it bad enough, you do it with tonsillitis. What was the most?
These are true facts.
What was the most non-politically correct moment?
This movie?
All of them.
I don't know. It bordered on rapiness sometimes. There were definitely moments where it was like, I don't know. But it didn't really push. It didn't really push far enough for me to be.
Okay,
really,
I know when dude interrupted them in the bathtub and then got mad niggerish.
But you know,
He
that
did
was
kind
like
of thuggish with it.
that was kind of one of the more real moments. So y'all probably pissed in the water anyway. I thought that was like a little shot of realism there. Shit.
That's very true.
You know, at least put some hood, put something in there. There was no librarian. No one had any good lines. No one read anybody for filth.
No.
Well, no.
Was Tammy in the library? When they were in the library talking, there was a woman on the other side of the thing that looked like Tammy, and I thought it was going to be like one of those moments where like you pan in and you see Tammy's eyes looking at them because she's spying on the whole thing. And no, I mean, I got kind of excited. That would have been kind of a nice thing.
That was the makeup. The makeup artist just got caught in the thing. They didn't edit it out.
Yeah. She got into a good mode and was just making everybody the same. Making up everybody the same way.
This is what I know. Derek is going to want to answer. What was the WTF am I watching moment?
Okay, so I have a question. Who sets up these fucking outdoor meals?
I don't know.
I mean, I always wonder that as a chef. Like, who did you get to do that, and where the fuck are they? And then you waste that good food fucking on the table.
Well, they looked like they were on the by the hotel pool in that one scene. Oh, they're watching, and you're married, and you're a psychiatrist, and you're out in the open. That was just so stupid. So let's go to the main event. We're gonna rate this.
Watching me fuck your wife. I thought that was a lame line.
I know, that was just
again
so
with the pop video in. I thought there was going to be a different video in there because this was set up for every black porn movie I have ever seen in my life.
Well, I mean, I just thought,
it's like two dudes sitting in a hotel room and somebody said, looking uncomfortable sitting on the bed, and like, pop this video in. Oh, this is two dudes. Does this disturb you? No, not really. Have you ever done this before? Well,
not today.
bow chicka bow bow.
Well, I would appreciate.
I was hoping it was going to be him. Like a video of him when he was with that chick
in the car.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. So let's rate this film. What are we going to use? Are we going to use our marshmallow scale, or are we going to use I don't know. Let's stick to the marshmallows. I can't think of anything else. So let's start with you, Legionnaire. What would you rate this movie?
I give this. I give it 2 marshmallows for Tyson's butt crack.
Okay. Remember that the Vanetta Berry Burnt Stick Award is an option.
They cannot reconsider.
You can always. It's not locked in. We unlike the Oscars, we don't have two envelopes.
Oh no, I'm going to leave it, but yeah, that's what I got.
All right, let's go to Derek Anthony.
I was going to give this movie 2 marshmallows because it got made, it got shown at theater, and it wasn't Showgirls. I'm going to bump it up to a 3 because the bartender in the red thong and the red bow tie behind the bar really impressed me with his skills and abilities. So I'm going to give 3 marshmallows because he gets a whole marshmallow to himself.
And he did take her coat.
He did. He was a gentleman, and he was sexy, and he knew how to make a decent Manhattan.
Even though at that place, they would have had a clothes check. But anyway.
Yeah, at the door before you got in there. Because you want to get some shit that you can see on a black light on your coat.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
All right, Damien.
This definitely gets the burnt stick from me. Well, you know what? No, I give it 1 marshmallow because of the beautiful Asian fop at the front desk, and he was fucking beautiful because he could get it today. But the thing is, this movie is shit. It is a rolling down the hill pile of shit. Like, it's one of those.
Wow. Collecting dust and mud and twigs and shit. Okay. All right. And Vanetta Berry.
I too liked the bartender.
Yeah.
But since I can see Tyson Beckford's butt and a lot of other things, it was not worth the marshmallow for me. So it did get 1 marshmallow crispy and burnt. That's all I got.
All right. Almost got the BBA, but
She gave you the test marshmallow. How hot the fire is. We stick 1 marshmallow in. And then
the one that forgot.
The one that fell off
it's still
into
in there.
the fire. It's the one that fell into the fire.
Yeah, I like that.
So, who did I do first? I did you first, Legionnaire.
Yes.
Did I do you? Okay. But you wanted to change your answer. Are you sticking to your answer?
I'm going to stick with mine.
Okay. Well, I go back and forth. There was some eye candy, but not enough, and not the way I wanted to see it. I too agree with Damien Nova. I was feeling the Asian guy. Thong guy would have made it better if he was in a jockstrap and not a thong. I guess, like Vanetta, I've seen enough of Tyson where it wasn't like enough of a treat to me, How can you have a body like Michael Jai White in a movie and not show it? That takes away a marshmallow for me. So I'm gonna give it a burnt stick. 1 burnt marshmallow, burnt stick, and 1/2 of 1 burnt marshmallow, 1 regular marshmallow, and 1 burnt stick. So that's basically like 2.5, I guess, for this movie.
Before we close out, can I say one thing?
You can say 2 things.
Okay. I only need 1 right now, maybe later. We were talking about the awards and what this movie may have gone up against. So I was doing a little research. John Q came out the same year.
Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord.
John what?
I just want to point.
With Kimberly Elise.
With Kimberly Elise. I just
Lord have mercy.
That Kimberly Elise was out with work. But I mean, for the women, Kimberly Elise had done some work in a movie that was highly acclaimed.
Right.
There it is.
That's upsetting.
someone who had done this movie. So the fix was in, clearly.
So it was that movie, even though it had two prominent black characters, was it really considered a black movie and geared towards a black audience?
It had Denzel Washington as a blue-collar man. This was a black movie.
Yeah. And he took over a hospital.
He did.
Yeah. Held up the whole hospital.
And there was crying at the end. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And there was Kimberly Lee's.
And then there's Kimberly Lee's. But there's just one thing that I have to sort of disagree with everyone on, and I've held my tongue long enough. The guy behind the bar with no clothes on, I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks nice, but I don't want you giving me anything to drink. Don't you pour me one goddamn drink. You put on some goddamn underwear before your ball juices.
He had on
sweat.
Damien, I did not make one comment about the guy behind the bar.
Neither did I. To be clear.
I just thought he was sexy.
Like, it looks real nice, but I'm like, where is the real bartender? Are you the only one on duty tonight? I will have a bottle of water. Thank you.
You are not going to have worms forming in my brain.
Gross.
Wrong.
Wait, worms?
Yeah. This woman had a worm in her brain. It was because they said that she ate food that someone prepared that didn't wash their hands, and it lived in her brain, and she could hear it. She could hear it.
Have you been watching Monsters Inside?
No, but I mean, this is a true story. The bitch had to learn how to walk again. You know, it was like she could hear it crunching and didn't know what it was. It was eating her brain. And so they told her she had eaten food that someone who didn't wash their hands had prepared. And it made me think, was it food that she prepared that she didn't wash her hands? You know, but yeah, there are some, you know, when you drink at a bar, come on now. You know, have you seen the water that they wash the glasses in? You know,
I used to be a bartender. That shit has to be, they put those things in it.
You know, but anyway, he was not a highlight for me. I thought it was nice to take her coat, but he wasn't. That wasn't, you know.
But he was a better actor than the rest of them.
You didn't think
that?
There's
that
point.
Yeah,
the Asian guy was interesting. I would like to see a movie about the Asian guy. Like, he was really. Like, how did you end up here? Because you seem like you are like a murderer or something. Like, what do you, like, you're an assassin or something like that. What is your story?
There was something. Yeah, there was a story there that I would have been interested in. You know. But anyway, all right, y'all. It's time for everyone to report back to their cabins. Your bunk beds are waiting for you. Join us next time for a brand new installment of Summer Camp. Once again, here's one of our campers on our PA system with a few announcements on how you can interact with us via social media.
Thank you for the intro. Binge listen to your favorite Poppy Chula Radio programs by visiting poppychularadio.com/archives. You can also download tonight's broadcast and the rest of the series through iTunes. Just search for Poppy Chula Radio Summer Camp and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/PCR Summer Camp. Follow us on Tumblr, summercamp-pcr.tumblr.com. Follow Poppy Chula Radio on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and YouTube at Poppy Chula Radio. Do you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns? Email us via contact@poppychularadio.com. Help support Poppy Chula Radio financially by visiting GoFundMe.com/poppychularadio. Help support Poppy Chula Radio financially by visiting GoFundMe.com/poppychularadio. Are you interested in joining the Poppy Chula Radio team as an on-air personality or blog contributor? Email talent@poppychularadio.com. Now, back to you, camp counselors.
Thank you. My fellow camp counselors, please wish our campers and the listeners a good night.
Good night, campers.
Good night, y'all.
Stop overestimating our friendship. I work for you. You work for me.
Thanks for tuning in. Good night and lights out.